Have you ever taken a sip of cola and thought, what is this flavor actually? It's sweet, sure, but not like candy. It's got a hint of citrus, a bit of spice, maybe even something slightly bitter. But none of those really explain it on their own. For something so familiar, cola is surprisingly hard to pin down. So here's the question. What exactly is cola flavor? And how did this strange, complex taste become one of the most recognizable flavors in the world? Today, we're diving into the story behind cola, the ingredients that give it that signature taste, and the surprising history that turned it from a medicinal experiment into a global obsession. Right here on History of Simple Things. Cola didn't start as a casual soft drink. It actually began as a kind of medicinal tonic in the late 1800s. One of the earliest and most famous versions was created by pharmacist John Stith Pemberton in 1886. His drink combined extracts from coca leaves and cola nuts, which is where the name cola comes from. Back then, beverages like this were sold in pharmacies and marketed as remedies for fatigue, headaches, and even mood issues. The coca leaves originally contained small amounts of cocaine, yes, really, while cola nuts provided caffeine. Over time, these ingredients were either removed or refined, especially as regulations tightened. As cola grew in popularity, other companies began creating their own versions, tweaking the formula and building brands around this mysterious flavor. But here's the interesting part. While the branding evolved, the core taste profile stayed surprisingly consistent. If you try to describe cola flavor, you'll probably struggle. That's because it's not based on a single ingredient, it's a blend. Think of it more like a flavor chord rather than a single note. At its core, cola flavor is a mix of sweet, citrusy, spicy, and slightly bitter elements. There's usually a caramel-like sweetness up front, followed by hints of citrus brightness, and then a warm, almost herbal spice note that lingers at the end. It's this layered combination that makes cola so unique. Your brain recognizes it instantly, but it doesn't easily match it to any one natural food. That's by design. While exact recipes are closely guarded secrets, famously locked away and protected, the general components of cola flavor are well understood. First, there's caramel, which gives cola its deep brown color and a rich, slightly burnt sugar sweetness. Then come citrus oils, usually extracted from orange, lemon, and sometimes lime peels. These add brightness and a subtle tang. Next are the spices. This is where things get interesting. Common additions include cinnamon, nutmeg, and coriander. Some formulas may also include vanilla for smoothness and a rounded finish. And of course there's caffeine, traditionally derived from cola nuts but now often added in purified form. It contributes a mild bitterness that balances the sweetness. Put all of that together and you get that signature cola taste, complex, balanced, and oddly addictive. One reason cola flavor feels so universally appealing is because it combines elements we already recognize. Sweetness from sugar, citrus from fruits, warmth from spices. It's like a mashup of flavors your brain already knows how to enjoy. But it's also carefully engineered. Food scientists design these blends to hit multiple taste receptors at once: sweet, sour, and bitter. This creates a more dynamic experience compared to simpler flavors. There's also the role of carbonation. The bubbles don't just add texture. They actually enhance the perception of flavor by carrying aroma compounds up to your nose as you drink. That's why cola tastes sharper and more refreshing than a flat version of the same liquid. This is where things get a bit complicated. Originally, cola flavor came from natural plant extracts, coca leaves, cola nuts, and various herbs and spices. But modern cola is usually a mix of natural and artificial flavorings. Some ingredients are still derived from real sources like citrus oils or vanilla extract. Others are synthesized in labs to ensure consistency and shelf stability. This doesn't necessarily make them bad, it just means the flavor is carefully controlled. In fact, one of the biggest challenges in making cola is making sure it tastes exactly the same every single time, no matter where it's produced. That level of consistency often requires a combination of natural and artificial components. You've probably heard that cola recipes are some of the most closely guarded secrets in the world. And that's not just marketing hype, it's a real business strategy. Because cola flavor isn't tied to a single ingredient, small changes in proportions can create noticeable differences in taste. Companies guard their formulas to maintain a unique identity and prevent competitors from copying their exact blend. That's why even though many brands sell cola, they don't all taste exactly the same. Some are sweeter, some are more citrusy, and others lean into the spicy notes. Those subtle differences are what define each brand. Cola has been around for over a century, and its popularity hasn't really faded. Part of that comes down to its flavor. It's complex enough to stay interesting, but familiar enough to be comforting. But there's also a cultural factor. Cola became associated with modern life, advertising, and global expansion. It wasn't just a drink, it was a symbol of refreshment, energy, and even identity in some parts of the world. Over time, that cultural presence reinforced the flavor itself. People didn't just like cola because of how it tasted, they liked what it represented. So, what exactly is cola flavor? It's not one ingredient, and it's not something you can point to in nature. It's a carefully crafted blend of caramel sweetness, citrus brightness, warm spices, and a touch of bitterness, all working together to create something instantly recognizable. It started as a medicinal experiment, evolved through decades of refinement, and became one of the most iconic flavors ever created. And even though we know the general ingredients, the exact balance remains a mystery. Maybe that's part of the appeal. After all, some things are more interesting when they're not completely explained. And cola, it's one of those flavors that keeps you guessing sip after sip. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.